when you have invested 2 elite TMs into a Pokemon like Double-Legacy Dewgong, you want to get your money's worth out of that investment. So we are back showcasing another set of battles with Double-Legacy Dewgong in the Great League. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel, trainers. My name is Oro Chris. I am your catching coach. We are back in the Great League, continuing our road to rank 10 series here on the channel. That slow climb up to rank 10 here in season 3 of Go Battle League. We've got the same team as in yesterday's video, but these were some nail biter matches, so I thought it would be worth your time to check them out. Now again, the team composition, we've got Double-Legacy Dewgong in the lead position with Medicham in the back. The most likely safe switch on the team is going to be Munchlax. The preferred moveset that I've been running is Counter, Power Up Punch, and Psychic onto the Medicham. So here we have got Shadow Victreebel, a very tough matchup. I had run into some bad situations as far as swapping out of this matchup in some other not recorded matches, so I did want to at least get some damage done with the Double-Legacy Dewgong. Otherwise, in a lot of matchups as a water Pokemon, you'd want to swap out of that, but we were hitting for super effective damage into a Pokemon that has reduced defenses like Shadow Victreebel, able to get off an Icy Wind, at least burn the shield of the opponent, so I thought it was worth pulling out shield advantage coming out of that lead matchup. So we have swapped into Munchlax, Whiscash. Typical moveset on Whiscash is going to be running Mud Bomb and Blizzard. You want to try to, if you can, block, shield the Blizzard. I don't think it looked like they had powered up to the Blizzard, so they launched the Mud Bomb, so I did not elect to shield. And now we have got 2 Pokemon near the KO range, and we have got Medicham coming in. We're going to be able to farm down. I'm expecting the Blizzard on this Whiscash. At that point, they go with the Mud Bomb, but they're not going to have enough energy left to get off another charge move at that point. I did want to ramp up energy ramp up my damage output, so I did use the Power Up Punch there to finish off the Whiscash, and now a Power Up Punch boosted, 2 attack stage boosted Medicham against Bastiodon in the back. A very common lineup is Shadow Victreebel with Bastiodon. You can run that as a lead with Bastiodon or as Shadow Victreebel in the lead position. From what I've seen, most players that are running this line have been leading with Bastiodon, so we have got a very solid matchup for Medicham here. As a fighting type, it's going to be resisting rock type attacks like Smackdown from Bastiodon, and they're taking 2 times super effective damage from the fighting type moves of Medicham. So we do pull out the win in that matchup. Next we have Gutacat, something along those lines, bringing in Stunfisk. Now this is Unnovan Stunfisk. This is a ground and electric type Pokemon, not the more preferred Stunfisk in the Great League currently. That is going to be Galarian Stunfisk, which is a steel and ground type Pokemon. So here, as a ground type, it's going to be taking super effective damage from both the ice type and water type attacks of Dewgong. We're going to launch the shield that first initial charge move, and then after that, hope that the debuff from Icy Wind is enough for us to weather the storm against the Stunfisk. So they swap out. Potentially, arguably, I could have expended an Icy Wind against the Clefairy that has, or Clefable that has subbed in, and that would have reduced the amount of damage that those charms would be doing. Instead, I elected at this point, maybe just too quick in the decision making at that point, I did swap in Munchlax without doing that. We do not get the shield, but they do go down. And now we have got Munchlax. Both of these charge moves on Munchlax are going to be resisted by Skarmory, sadly. So we're just going to try to do as much chip damage as possible before Munchlax does go down. Hoping to get to another Body Slam here. Going to be resisted as a Steel type resists normal type attacks, but we're going to just try to wear down this as much as possible. So we're able to get through 2/3, maybe 3/4 of Skarmory's health in a losing matchup. Very solid performance there by Munchlax. So here, you may have missed it. I'm going to hit pause and try to catch this back here. So we have got a decision. I have got Medicham, who's going to be taking super effective damage from a Sky Attack, and as you just saw, Skarmory was farming down like crazy. The Dewgong is very low on health, so what I'm going to do is I'm thinking bring out the Medicham, and then immediately swap out of the Medicham into the Dewgong. And if you blink, you will miss how quickly this happens. You'll see Medicham flash up there, but for a moment, Medicham and then it's Dewgong. And that Dewgong is then going to eat this Sky Attack. They're going to burn all of that energy and then enable me to then launch an Icy Wind against the Skarmory. One, get more potentially damage, or two, get the shield, but it's going to reduce their attack. So now they're going to burn another Sky Attack, and then Medicham can come in now full health, and it's going to be able to wear down this Stunfisk. Not going to be taking that super effective damage from Skarmory, and I think that definitely was probably the only way that this match was going to be saved, with a Skarmory in the back against a Pokemon like Medicham. So we do get a couple of Mud Bombs there. We're going to store up enough energy, going to farm down on the Stunfisk, and then have these power-up punches ready to then burn the remaining health of the Skarmory. So in those situations, be cognizant of how much HP your Pokemon in the back have. Be aware of potential very quick switches like that. I did it as quickly as possible, and if you're just slamming on the charge move as the opponent Skarmory user, that's how you result in burning that energy when someone does a very quick switch, as I did from the Medicham into the Dewgong. So as you can see here, another lead of a Razor Leafer. Razor Leafer is very common in the Great League currently. There's a team that a lot of folks are calling the Cancer team, running Bastiodon and 2 Razor Leafers, potentially 2 Shadow Razor Leafers. It can be, typically it's Shadow Victreebel with Shadow Bellossom. I've seen Shadow Weepinbell. There's various combinations of Razor Leafers, but once you've got that Shadow buff, which is increases damage by 20%, I believe, and then you add on to that, a lot of these Pokemon are carrying potentially Acid Spray. It makes it very tough to overcome, very oppressive moveset, a very powerful move like Razor Leaf. You've also got Stab, that same type attack bonus there, so very tough situation in that regard. So here, either Ice Punch or Psychic would be super effective. I did not go for the bait, went straight for the Psychic. They elect Shield, so we don't get the benefit there. Here, if you remember in that matchup where it was Shadow Victreebel, that was just chunking away at a water type like Dewgong. Here, the reduction in damage, not having that Shadow buff on this Victreebel, you can see how much more resilient a bulky Pokemon like Dewgong can be when they don't have that Shadow bonus. So here we have got a Alolan Sandslash. This is an Ice and Steel type Pokemon, so going to have immunity tier resistance to these Ice type attacks, but we're hoping to just get as much of a debuff done as far as the attack stat with Icy Wind for when a fighting type like Medicham, who's going to be hitting both Steel types and Ice types for super effective damage. As you can see here, very little health left on Medicham, but because of that double super effective output, as well as having access to a attack debuff on the opponent's side, 2 stages I believe, and then an attack buff on Power Up Punch, very, very close here, almost able to pull out the knockout there against the Sandslash. Arguable whether or not, if I had held on to the energy from that Power Up Punch against Medicham, if that would have enabled me to get more, because they shielded that, would have enabled me to get another counter done, if that would have been more beneficial than the Power Up Punch that I did use, and then having one maybe extra boosted Power Up Punch by that point. So here, double super effective into a normal and dark type like Obstagoon. Obstagoon, a very interesting pick in the Great League. Recently, Swag Tips, Ryan Swag, has been running a team leading Obstagoon. Very popular YouTuber, Pokemon content creator. Be sure to check him out. I'll put a link to his description a link to his channel in the description down below. His team, he was leading Obstagoon. The preferred moveset, I think, on a lead Obstagoon, you can catch some folks off guard with running Night Slash and then Gunk Shot. Gunk Shot being going to be able to hit fairy type Pokemon for super effective damage, and that's been very successful, is what Ryan was reporting. So here we have got, I think, 1, maybe 2 power-up punches under our belt, so we can see just how much damage a 1 or 2 times boosted Psychic does, and that is why I prefer Psychic over something like Ice Punch. Once you've got 1 or 2 power-up punches, those attack stages, each attack stage increase on a buffing move increases your attack stat by 25%. So 2 of those, you're at 50% now. Those are not multipliers, it's just a stage increase. So that 150% boost to damage output, very important in that regard. And I may have misspoke there. It's a 50% increase, 150% times the amount of damage. So now we have got a Icy Wind user, an Ice type, taking super effective damage from this fighting type Pokemon here. So we are trying to get as much of a debuff on the opponent as possible. Obstagoon, not the most bulky Pokemon, has a little bit better bulk in the Ultra League. In the Great League, definitely less so. So here we are going to try, they've now swapped out of that matchup, have the Azumarill. That clears the debuff on the attack stat that the Icy Winds had done, but Munchlax is able to farm up enough energy to get down a Body Slam. That Ghost type move, however, Lick, that's 3 times resisted by a Pokemon like Obstagoon. Ghost types into normal types. Normal types have immunity to resistance to ghost type attacks. So Lick is 2 times resisted by the normal typing of Obstagoon, and then dark types also resist ghost type attacks, so that's 3 times resistance. So I think that ends up being about 25-ish% of the amount of damage that it would be doing under normal circumstances. So be sure to know the layers, the tiers of resistances in these particular matchups. Double super effective, 3 times resistance. All of those play important roles in understanding these type matchups. And know which types are effective into which particular Pokemon. I cannot emphasize enough how important it is to know those particular matchups. Not necessarily the accounts of particular moves on every single Pokemon, but knowing, is a bug type going to be resisting fighting type attacks and things of that sort. It's incredibly important. How often I've seen matchups, especially watching Twitch streamers, where you've got the match lost and then the opponent does something that is completely counter to what type effectiveness would dictate, and they just throw the match as a result. So Munchlax here, a dark type, is going to be resisting Lick, but we're going to try to nonetheless build up enough energy with these Body Slams, because with that same type attack bonus, they're definitely going to be very powerful attacks. Questionable whether or not you pull the shield here. That Sky attack is going to be enough to get the knockout. Dewgong, potentially you're thinking, is the Haunch Crow going to be hitting us with a Brave Bird? And at that point, I did not think that the Haunch Crow had enough energy built up to hit with a Brave Bird. Brave Bird got a buff in the recent Season 3 move Rebalance, so a very powerful move now, and as a result, you want to be on the watch for Pokemon like Skarmory, like Haunch Crow, that could potentially be using that in their arsenal. So here, a Bug-type Pokemon going to be resisting the fighting type attacks of Medicham. Nonetheless, if we can get a couple of power punches under our belts, that will be enough to secure the win, as we're able to here. So a successful matchup there at the close, and we are able to pull out those set of matches, going 5 straight wins there. So a great performance by the Double-Legacy Dewgong. I am very happy with how that particular Pokemon has been working in the Open Great League currently. If you're considering using Elite Charge and Elite Fast TMs, I think that Double-Legacy Dewgong is a great investment. I will say, however, you need to have both of those moves. You need to have Ice Shard as the fast move. That's, if you don't already have that on the Pokemon, it's a legacy move. You would need to use an Elite Fast TM to get it, and then you would need to have Icy Wind. The other moves available in Dewgong's moveset currently do not live up to the hype. You need to have those 2 particular moves. If you've only got one Elite Fast TM, or if you only got one Elite Charge TM, you don't have the combination of both, I would save those until next season, when potentially end of season rewards come out, and you can get both of those particular elite TMs that you would need to make a double legacy Dewgong. Overall, very happy with the investment. I'm happier with it than I have been with some of the other things that I've elite TM'd. For example, Shadow Zapdos. I tried that out in the Ultra League, did not have a lot of success. I'm hopeful that with the buff to Drill Peck, that Shadow Zapdos will see some resurgence here when we do rotate into the Ultra League next week. I do want to say thank you for sticking around until the end of the video, and until next time, happy catching.